Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So a new setup today. I think this is going to be where I film from now on. So hopefully the lighting is good and everything, but I'm excited for today's video because I'm going to be trying a new foundation and also a new primer. So I got a sample of the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation about a week, I think it was like a week ago. I ordered it from the Detox Market. I just wanted to try it out and I didn't for sure know what my shade was. And I got the shade Texel, I believe that's what it was. And I was my pale self, and I'm pretty sure that matched me pretty well. I did put a little bit of self tan on my neck and my chest. So I have another shade that I'm going to be trying out, and this is the shade Bowen. I got more samples from the Detox Market. So first off, my first impressions when I first applied the foundation, I really loved it. It applied so smooth on my skin, and I think that was like a 12-hour workday that I was gone, and stayed on all day long, and my skin, it never looked dry or cakey, which I absolutely loved. So I definitely wanted to get a few more shades because I do self-tan every now and then. I wanted to have like a darker shade and find that before I purchased a full size because it is a little bit pricey. I think it's $54. You can buy it on Sephora, and then you can go obviously to like the Detox Market or Credo Beauty, I believe, has it as well, or their website too. So it's basically, they target it as a skincare and foundation kind of all in one, and I really loved that. There's very good ingredients, and it's a very clean foundation. So I'm going to be using that today, doing a little tutorial, just like a quick get ready with me because I'm going to be going to work, so I want to make this fast. And then I also got a new primer. I'm not really big on primers. I just never have been. I've never had any that really like wowed me, so I've just never really done them. But I came across this on Sephora's website. This is the Coola Dawn Patrol Classic Primer with SPF 50. That's what caught my eye, was the SPF 50. I don't think I've seen a primer before with SPF in it, so I thought that was really cool, and it had such good reviews. Coola is a clean brand as well. I think this might rate like a 3 or 4 on the EWG app. I'm not sure. I looked up a few ingredients, but it had such amazing reviews. So I really want to give this a try, and it got compared to a lot of high-end primers that people actually like switched over to this one. So we'll see if it lives up to that hype, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I already know how the foundation wears without the primer, so we'll see if it does anything differently. So it's a little pump, and you get 1 fluid ounce, and this was $42. Yes, 42. And it's clear, so I'm just going to do 1 pump, and it looks like a silicone-based primer when you pump it out. And I'll have to go and look at the ingredients. I'm pretty sure there's silicone in it, which doesn't bother me. I know some people do not want that ingredient. There's been a lot of reviews and things like that that I've read saying silicone breaks people out. I don't really think that I've had an issue with it, but this feels really smooth like a silicone primer, so I'm pretty sure that's in here. So it goes on very smooth, so I hope it's pore filling. I'm going to take just a little bit more and put it like on my forehead where I really have my pores showing, and then my nose. I'm really going to like press it into my skin. There's no scent, no fragrance, and it just feels really smooth and moisturized. So far I love that. And the fact that even if I don't like it with the foundation, I'd probably still use it just for the fact that it's a quick SPF and it feels really nice. So the way I've been applying the foundation is with my Sigma F80 brush, and I have not used a beauty blender to apply it yet, just because I really like the way that it looks with the brush. So this is the shade Bowen, and I hope there's enough in here to do a full face. So there's a swatch on the back of my hand, and hopefully that shears out or blends out well to match my skin. So I'm just going to dip it right into the little sample thing I have, and then start to buff it in. This gives about a medium coverage. I'm going to do one side of my face first and then see how it's laying over the primer. So again, I build it up to about medium coverage. So far it's laying really nicely over the primer. And there is no SPF in this foundation, so I thought it was just really cool that I could get a primer to take care of that. Which every now and then I'll use my Beauty Counter Dew Skin, which does have SPF 20. So I'll just do like half my face and let you guys see the difference. So that is just like one light layer. You can see that it kind of clears up the redness, but it's not covering any freckles or anything like that. Just the one good layer. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and it's laying really nicely over the foundation. It looks like, or over the primer, it looks like it really did go smoothly over like my pores. It's not settling into my pores. And again, I'm using the shade Bowen. It's a little dark for me right now, but if I was self-tanned, it would probably work great. And I already have my eyebrows done. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Because I'm trying to find a foundation that I want to wear on my wedding day. So I don't know if I want to do my Beauty Counter, or I just want to try out some other foundations. Because I've literally been wearing my Beauty Counter since May. And I love it, don't get me wrong. It's just, I want to see what else is out there, you know? And so if I was self-tan, this would probably be a good match. And I want to make sure that I like the shade before I buy a full size, because it is a little pricey. And it does have a scent to it, like a skincare scent, and it's fairly strong, so beware of that. So that's just like one layer, and honestly it's medium coverage just with that. And I'll take a little bit more like over my cheeks, and I'll take a little bit more on my chin. But I don't like to wear a lot of foundation on my face anymore. I used to cake it on just because I wanted a super full coverage look, which honestly when I'm looking in the camera here, it looks pretty full coverage. To me anyways. Just make sure that it's blended. So my skin just looks really smooth. I think I really do like the primer under there. Again, you can still see some freckles, but honestly it's building up really nicely where I want it to. And it looks really good with a brush. Again, I have not used a beauty blender to apply it. I just feel like it's targeted as a serum foundation, so I feel like the beauty blender would soak it up a lot. But I'll go ahead and kind of press over to blend it in really well. I don't know if you guys can, the lighting's kind of bad, but it just looks really smooth. I'm impressed. I really do love it. Again, I loved it without the primer, but I think the primer is just a nice touch. So yeah, I think it's a win. Again, it's pricey, but I mean, with a lot of the foundations and you know, clean beauty lines that I've come across, with the ingredients that are in some of these products, it's just, it is what it is, you know. I just feel like they use such good ingredients that they have to charge that much for what it is. So if you are really into having some really good clean ingredients, then by all means go for it. So I'm gonna just dig through my makeup bag here and get the rest of like my makeup brushes out, because I'm just gonna do like a quick little makeup look like what I normally would do on a regular day. So I have my concealers in this little palette here. These are my RMS ones, the RMS Uncover Up, and I just take Uncover Up in the shade 11 and I apply it under my eyes, and I kind of buff it in with this Real Techniques setting brush. I'm gonna use a mix of 11 and 22 today since that foundation is a little bit darker. Excuse my voice, been a little sick this week. think the Uncover Up blends in really nicely with a brush. That's how I've been applying it lately. I usually wear the Uncover Up during the work week and stuff just because it's super simple to blend. Gives me the coverage that I want. It's easily buildable. And I don't wear a lot of makeup during the week. So this is just my go-to. And I just kind of put it under my eyes, and then I take the shade 22 on my chin to cover up like any dark spots and just buff it in. It does crease, which honestly, all concealers crease, I feel like, unless it's a super matte, super drying concealer. But I don't like to put a lot of powder underneath or on my face during the day either. I just put it where I need it to set, just to set the makeup. I don't like to cake it on or bake or anything like that. So I just do a light dusting because I do think that powder keeps your makeup in place. I just don't go overboard with it. Okay, so that's really all that I do. I just lightly buff concealer on. Then I'm going to go in with bronzer, and I use my Beauty Counter #1 matte bronzer, which I've hit pan pretty well on here. So actually, let me go ahead and set my under eyes real quick. And I'm still using my Lawless Seal the Deal powder. I'm not like in love with it, but I don't think it's bad. It's just I don't love it for under my eyes, but I do use it on my face. So I'm just going to take the smallest amount of powder and buff it all over the skin. On the nose, and a little bit down here where I put that foundation. I love it for the face, and it goes really nicely over this foundation too. So then I'll take my bronzer, and I'm just going to use a Spa Sister. This is a 70/30 brush. I got this from TJ Maxx. And I'm going to just warm up my face a little bit. Take it under my jawline and like down the natural hollows of my face, on my forehead. So the only thing that's like creasing is the concealer, but the foundation isn't settling into like my smile lines or anything like that. And it looks really smooth over, I have a look like where my pores are on my forehead. I have a lot of texture there and on my nose and stuff, and it's laying really nicely. So again, this is like a medium coverage. I could have built it up a little bit more to get me a full coverage. So just taking some bronzer down my nose. Then I'm going to go into my palette, which I broke. This is the Sculpt and Define Contour Palette. And then I just take an eyeshadow brush and I go into my crease real quick with the middle shade. And actually, before I do that, let me set it a little bit with the light shade, just to get the creases off, because I did put a little bit of concealer up there. So I'm just going to set it a little bit, and then I just go into that middle shade, and I kind of look down and then put that into the crease. I do this every single day. Like, this is my workday makeup. Throwing that, like a bronzer or a contour shade in the crease, just puts a little bit of definition to the eyes, where you just look a little bit more pulled together than if you didn't. You know what I mean? So that's all I do there. And then I take kind of a pencil brush and I take the same shade and I go on my lower lash line. forgot to bring my lip balm in here because I was going to do that. My lips have been super dry. I haven't been putting on my nightly lip balm. Probably just broke that even a little bit more now. For blush, I like to use cream blushes over like my powder. So this is my RMS palette. I have the blush in the shade Spell, and I don't really care about putting a cream over powder. I think it looks nice. So if your skin's too matte, putting a cream over top just kind of brings some life back into the skin. So I just like to do that. I love this shade so much. It's like everything I want in a blush. And just really blend that out with the fingers. Alright, and then I'm going to use, I think, just a different eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to quickly set my under eye area with the palette that I just dropped. So literally, I just dust it right in the corners. And that's it. Because I have powder everywhere else already, just a light setting or a light dusting of that. And then I'm going to take this is my Living Luminizer highlighter, the RMS, just a little bit onto the high points of the cheek. A little bit on like the center of the bridge of my nose. That's it for that. And then I'm going to spoolie up my brows a little bit because I feel like they got a little lost. If I can find my spoolie brush, which I cannot. So I'm just going to use this real quick. Just brush them up. Oh, here it is. And I used really lightly, the Lily Lolo brow powder. It's like really pigmented and it's a little bit more warm toned, but as long as I like really blend it, it works fine. Okay, then I go on to lashes. And bet you can't guess what combo I'm using on this. So I always curl my lashes. It just really opens the eye. Take it right at the base and I just give it a few squeezes, and then I go in the middle, a few squeezes, and then the ends. Then I just got a new Honest mascara from my mom for Christmas. So this is the Honest Beauty mascara, and this is the primer end. I almost always use the primer, but I like the effect of it. And then you wait 30 seconds and then you apply the mascara. So that's when I apply my bottom lash mascara. And it's the Beauty Counter Volumizing. Just some quick on the bottom. Then I'll go into the top lashes. I could tell that my other Honest Beauty mascara was getting a little worn down. I wasn't getting the length and volume that you get from a new tube. You just can't beat a new tube. I love this mascara so much. I just really layer it up. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go quickly over my lips with a lip gloss because I don't have anything else in my makeup bag. So this is the Beauty Counter. This is from the New Nudes trio, and this is the shade Spice. It's got a little sparkle to it. It's got like a pointed wand, and it's so pretty. So I just need something to put on my lips a little bit. Okay, so this is the finished look, and I think that my foundation is looking really pretty with this primer. Again, it's the Coola Dawn Patrol, and it feels like there's silicone in it. It feels like a silicone-based primer, which I'm okay with, but I wish I wouldn't have thrown away the box. I will link it down below, and then I'll let you guys check it out, but I got this from Sephora. I'm pretty sure you can get it at Ulta too. I think that they have this as well. But overall, first impressions, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I think it looks really pretty with this foundation. And then also the foundation, again, I just had a sample of it, and it is the Ilia Beauty True Skin Serum Foundation, and today I used the shade Bowen. When I don't have any tan on, I use the shade Texel, and it worked really well. Using a brush, it blended beautifully on my skin, and I just went over it lightly with a beauty blender to kind of make sure everything was pressed into the skin, but it doesn't look like I have a bunch of makeup on my face. I got a beautiful medium coverage from it. It's not cakey. It hasn't clung to any dry patches, which I do have some dry patches around my forehead currently, but it didn't do any of that, and it's probably because of the beautiful skincare properties in it. And again, I will link that down below for you guys. It did have a little bit of a smell, but not like a fragrancy smell like you can get from other foundations, not like that, but just like a skincare smell. So it didn't bother me at all, and I don't really smell it on my face right now, so I don't think it's going to bother me throughout the day. But this is a beautiful foundation, and I really think that this is going to be a contender for what I wear on my wedding day. So this is what I wanted to get it for and try it out. I definitely think Bowen is my tan shade. I also got the shades, I guess I can swatch them for you. Let's see, the shade Catalina. I'll swatch it next to the dried Bowen. So this is Catalina, and then this was Bowen. And I also got, these are really messy in these containers. This is the shade Chios. So that's Chios. Catalina definitely has a little bit more of a warm undertone, and Chios is a little bit more neutral. And then I also got the shade Selena. So this is a little bit on the yellow side, I would say. So this is Selena. I should have used that one today, honestly. Selena, Chios, Catalina, and Bowen. Those were the four that I got to see what would work best for my skin tone, depending on what self-tan I was wearing or how pale I was. But my pale, regular skin tone shade was Texel. So these were really beautiful. This is Bowen dried down right now. So it does dry down to kind of a, maybe like a satin finish. And it honestly, it didn't look very dewy on my skin when I first put it on. I know I read or did, I watched a lot of YouTube videos saying it was really dewy, but I don't feel like that was the case. And I barely dusted powder on my face, and I think it looks really beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was really excited to try out the foundation and the primer. Again, I'll link those below, as well as all the other products that I used today. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick tutorial and review, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.